Rem Room.
Yes. Yeah. Just display along the back here. All Rem statues
All
on
Rem.
the shelf behind us.
And anyone that says, well, what about Amelia? We say, fuck Amelia.
I got criticism for.
I remember that. I saw that on Twitter.
Well, for also having an uneven number of Rims versus Rams.
Oh.
Too. Yeah.
Okay. It is the Super Clash podcast, a podcast about shorter games. It is episode 70. I am your host, Kale.
Hey, it's Connor.
Oh, Connor with the announcement voice.
Announcing. I don't know.
How was your week, Connor?
Honestly, very stressful and tiring. How about you?
It was not terrible. I mean, I kind of got bamboozled today because we swapped over from a new computer system, and we were told, oh, you might get out early today. We were told that the previous day. Well, Friday rolls around, I'm like, well, when are we getting out of here? And I was hoping like at noon. I didn't leave till 3, and I leave at 4:30 usually. So there was really no point in announcing that you can leave early.
Yeah.
Which kind of made me mad because I was hoping I'd get home around 12:30, kind of meditate a little bit, take my dog to the dog park, get prepped for this podcast, and then I basically get home, oh God, maybe 30 minutes to an hour earlier than I usually do.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
I think that's kind of... My wife has something similar happen. Every Friday, she's supposed to get like a half day off because she's like working later each day.
Right.
So she's doing like 10-hour days for 4 days so that she has a half day on Friday. But the reality of the situation is most of the time on Friday, she gets home around like 3.
Ugh.
So it's like, okay, was it really worth it?
Yeah. But it's stupid. But on a lighter note, what are we sitting on, Connor?
We're sitting on our nice new couch in the updated recording studio.
Yeah, and it's really comfy. Like, you're sitting across from me. If we wanted to, we could stretch out and massage each other's feet while we record. Well,
maybe we are right now. You don't know.
I was about to, yeah. How do you like that, Connor? Right there?
Please don't ever touch me again.
But I am so glad we have this because we have a really nice vibe going on here. And it's like, but this was a bitch to get into this room.
Oh yeah, I still have bruises on my legs and arms, my hand, my wrist.
Yeah, we basically said that once we got this couch in here, this couch is not leaving this room. If you were to move, this couch is staying behind.
Yeah. If we ever sell this house, this
couch lives
stays.
Here. Yeah.
Or we just smash it into a million pieces to take it out.
I would almost want to leave it so the anyone who is looking to move into this house will say, how'd they get the couch in there? And then the realtor can say, oh, no. The house is built around this couch.
Yeah, it was, definitely.
So, but other than that, we have a couple like kind of weird, not really news announcements, just kind of pleasantries. I finished the manga Rooster Fighter.
Oh, like how many volumes is that?
It's only one right now. The second volume doesn't come out until I think November 15th. I need to verify on that.
Oh wow.
But I really enjoy this. Like Rooster Fighter, for those who don't know, it is what it sounds like. It is a rooster that fights giant demons. And he is on a mission to find the demon that ate his little sister.
Okay.
And the name Rooster Fighter, you think it'd be totally idiotic, and they're right. But that's why I love it. I have never seen One Punch Man, but One Punch Man kind of from what I've seen, has like this over-the-top action comedy vibe to it.
Yeah.
But really, really good art.
Okay.
And this is what Rooster Fighter is. It's over the top. It's ridiculous, but the art is really good. Surprisingly good coming from a manga called Rooster Fighter.
Do you think they'd ever make an anime of it?
I would watch an anime of this in a heartbeat, so I would hope so.
Nice. Okay.
Oh man, I love it, and I can't wait for the next volume.
Hell
Because,
yeah, man.
Yeah. So
I really need to get caught up on manga. I have like 2 or 3 new volumes that I've recently got that I've been really wanting to read. I just haven't. Plus, my backlog is literally like probably 2 to 3 foot tall stacks of manga that I have to read through.
Yeah, and I'm still on that search for Comey Can't Communicate Volume 7.
Really?
It's impossible to find. I almost just need to order it off Amazon.
Yeah. Are you that far in the manga? Or are you still...
Yeah, I'm that far.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like I stopped at 6. I'm trying to find 7, and if I ever get the money, I might just get 7, 8, 9, and that way I can have the next 3 volumes ready to go.
What's in your backlog right now?
Obviously, the girl I saved on the train turned out to be my childhood friend.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I need to read Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible, Volume 3.
That's another good one, yeah.
I need to read the last volume available for The Dangers in My Heart.
The new one's coming out soon, I think.
Yeah, I need to verify that. I need to start Blue Period because I got that in the mystery manga at Barnes & Noble.
Okay.
I need to read... there was one. I need to start Way of the House Husband.
Okay.
So I have quite a bit on my backlog.
Yeah, that's a reasonable amount.
So, which it is good because it'll keep me from buying more manga and spending more money I don't have. So.
Well, it also fills the gap until you can find or order Comey as well.
Exactly.
So you have something to...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, going to Barnes & Noble, especially the one in on the Kansas side, is very dangerous.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I'll be able to make another trip back there until, like, the earliest end of October. Just because, like...
Same here.
It's too devastating on the wallet.
And we're glad it's 45 minutes away as opposed to, like, 10. Otherwise, we'd probably be there every single day.
Yeah, it's rough.
But what's also kind of rough, but also kind of funny, too, Google Stadia is shutting down.
Yes.
And I say this very sarcastically. I am totally shocked.
Yeah, the track record, not only just for Google shutting things down, but the track record for game streaming services just hasn't been great to begin with. And I am very against this sort of pseudo ownership of games. You know? But I will say, to Google's credit on this, they are offering refunds for all purchases on Stadia. So they're
That's
giving
good on Google.
Money back for the hardware, the software. But here's the weird part. Right before you got here, I was just going through Twitter, just kind of reading people's thoughts on Google Stadia. And there are a ton of people who have $1,000, $2,000, upwards of almost $3,000 invested into this platform that they're getting back as a refund.
Jesus. How do you spend that much on Stadia? I don't understand.
That's what I don't get. You know, like, I get getting, sort of invested in the newest, greatest thing, but I genuinely don't think I've spent that much even on PS5 yet. Like, that's the truth. Like, and I like my PS5 a lot, and you own the games, but, and here's another, like, really kind of sad tidbit to this story. The day of that it was canceled, the developers who made that Hot Wheels Unleashed game posted, today, Hot Wheels Unleashed launches on Stadia.
Oh, no.
Only for them to, a few hours later, be like, well, never mind, And there were several other indie devs who were like, we plan to release either this week or next month on the system, and now all that work is just gone. That's terrible. And they didn't... All the comments says they were completely unaware that this was happening. Like, they couldn't give them any advance notice. Like, hey...
It's Google. That doesn't really surprise me.
I hope they're making it right with these developers. Like,
at least compensate them for their work.
Exactly. If you're not going to support anymore, which I really don't understand, unless the infrastructure to keep these servers up running these game streaming services is just too damn high, it's just not worth it. Like, why not allow these developers to keep releasing games on it? It seems like it was supported at least well enough, but I don't know, man. The only other thing I heard that is a win as well is Ubisoft, of all studios, is saying they're trying to find a way to allow people to transfer their Stadia purchases to PC.
Good on them.
Like, that's as nice as it could be. It'd be cool if they offered a way to be like, all right, any of these big developer or big publishers were like, hey, if you have verification of any of your Stadia purchases, we can give you a game key on a platform of your choice for that game. Like, that would be nice.
Yeah, would also be nice in a way for Google to almost kind of recycle their I guess assets is the right word. I'm not sure. For Stadia, we talked about this also in the group chat. The controller for Stadia is surprisingly high quality, and I've heard people say the buttons are responsive. It feels good in the hands. So they did a really good job with the controller. It'd be really nice if they kept the controller on the market and maybe just like adapted it to be compatible with PC or Xbox or maybe even PlayStation.
Yeah, I would love that.
Because Google could still make a profit off of that, especially with such a high quality controller. And with in a world where, like, let's be honest, like, there's really, to my knowledge, there's no third party controllers anymore.
There are, yeah. There's
not for, at least not for PlayStation. Probably for Xbox, but
I want to say there's a few out there still. I'm trying to remember the brand name off the top of my head. It's just not coming to me. But there's one like key brand out there, and they're the ones who make like officially licensed controllers for these companies, but they're still a third party controller. God dang, it's gonna bother me now. I can't remember it.
Is it Mad Catz?
No, it's not Mad Catz. Mad Catz tried to get back in the peripheral business and failed a while back.
What was it them that made like those Afterglow controllers?
That was Nyko.
Oh, that was Nyko.
I loved those Afterglow controllers, and I loved or was that? Or Afterglow was its own brand, maybe.
I think you're right. I think it was its own brand.
I was thinking of the Airflow controllers.
Oh.
Did you remember the Airflow XLs on PS2?
Kind of,
where they had fans built into them? That was the dopest controller ever.
I had one for the original Xbox. Not the Airfan, but the Afterglow. It was green, and when I was playing Halo and you would shoot, it would flash quickly.
I have a cool story that's related to that. I had 2 PS2 controllers that came bundled with my copy of Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith on PS2.
Oh, dude, that game was awesome.
There was I think there was an Anakin and an Obi-Wan. There's a red and a blue one, I'm pretty sure. And I loved those controllers. The thing is with the PS2, I really, really, really wish, going back in time, I saved my controllers for it. Because I had the dopest controllers on that system. Like, I had the Airflow XL, which I loved, and then I had the 2 Afterglow Star Wars ones. And, I wish I had them.
Oh, man. So...
But yeah, also, if anybody out there has Stadia controllers that they just were going to get rid of or don't want, hit me up. Hit me up on Twitter or wherever. Yeah, I'm into it.
Me, and because I want to feel that controller for myself. So.
Oh yeah.
And if I like it, I'll try to muster up some money. Spare change for a Stadia controller, please. Please. But tonight is the start of the spooky season.
Spooky time.
To where we will be reviewing, I guess not really reviewing, but discussing horror games throughout these 4 weeks of October. And we decided to start off with Layers of Fear. But before we get into that, Connor, let's get physical.
Okay, if you say so.
Oh, we're already getting physical now. We said we were rubbing each other's feet.
Get away from me, you nasty little monster. So this week we actually have fewer games than last week, which is good. A few of these kind of squeaked in that in theory I would have maybe announced last week. But regardless, here we go. So the first one is Sea Horizon. It's $30, only on Switch, and it's a Play Asia exclusive. In the world of Sea Horizon, every step counts in a journey of survival and high adventure. Sea Horizon is a roguelike, turn-based RPG presented in a 3D bird's-eye view of a hex grid map that's different every time you set out to explore the shattered archipelago of Mirahin. Choose between a wide variety of characters with their own storied backgrounds and personal motivations. Chart a path across diverse landscapes and treacherous seas as you equip weapons, carefully manage your hunger and health, and weigh risk against the potential reward of each side quest. Activate blessings to help you along the way and make life or death choices in combat. A limited edition is also available for $40 and includes the soundtrack. Pre-orders opened on September 29th. I believe these are limited, or at least the limited edition is obviously limited.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The next one, barely squeaked in today, is the Super Rare Mixtape 4. This is approximately $33. It's only on the PC in the form of a USB. It's a Super Rare exclusive. Contains 30 games, a hand-curated selection of games from grassroots indie developers chosen from maximum variety of genres and art styles. There's something for everyone. It includes 10 demos on the USB cassette tape with 38 art galleries, 18 developer audio diaries, 27 trailers, and 19 soundtracks with a built-in music player. And it's limited to 1,500 units, and it releases October 4th.
You said it's a USB tape?
Yeah, it's shaped like a cassette tape, but it's got a USB stick.
So you would plug that into the Switch?
Plug it into your PC.
Oh, and that's where you access... Okay. That's where I got it confused because, to my knowledge, Super Rare only does, exclusively Switch games. That's where I got it confused.
Except for the mixtapes. They're all on USB
Gotcha.
for the PC.
Okay, cool.
Yep. The next one is Taiko no Tatsujin Rhythm Festival. It's $50. It's only on Switch. It says, welcome to Omiko City. Get ready to drum to the beat of your heart with Don-chan. Join an amazing musical festival, solo or with friends. Enjoy a whole host of exciting features and popular music and this all-time favorite series. A new character, Kumo-kyun, has been added, and the game has evolved to include online battles, a party mode, and music subscription service. Pre-orders include an enamel pin set. Releases October 7th.
Nice.
All right, and the next one is Chaos Head Noah / Chaos Head Child Double Pack. It's $50, only on Switch. The Chaos series finally arrives on Nintendo Switch with this 2 games in 1 double pack. Chaos Head Noah, play as Takumi and use your delusion to find the truth about a serial murder case called New Generation Madness. Your delusion will change the endings. In Chaos Child, you play as Takaru and explore Shibuya in 2015 after an earthquake nearly leveled the city 6 years prior, and try to outsmart the puppet master behind this New Generation Madness. Pre-orders will include a steelbook and bonus DLC for the launch edition.
This sounds fascinating. It's interesting how they played it, or how they're including the 2011 massive earthquake. Wasn't 2011 with that massive earthquake in Japan?
Well, it says on here it's 2015, but...
Well, no, it's saying that it took place 6 years prior.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it backwards, so...
No worries. But this one also releases October 7th.
Nice.
So, and the last one is Shantae, the original, $35 on PS5. It's a limited run games exclusive. The original Shantae adventure returns. First released in 2002, Shantae is the classic action-adventure platformer that introduced players to the fan-favorite half-genie hero. In her debut title, Shantae hair whips, dances, and transforms as she seeks out 4 elemental stones hidden throughout Sequin Land to put a stop to the nefarious lady pirate Risky Boots.
Nice.
Pre-orders end October 9th.
All right, is that it for Let's Get Physical?
Oh, I got the most physical. That's it.
Oh, sweet. All right, so let's go ahead and just dive in, Connor, to Layers of Fear. Oh, no, I just lost my page.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. Where is it?
He's screaming over there.
Oh, there. Wait. There it is. Okay, we're good. We're good.
Are we good?
Oh, we're good.
Okay.
So, Layers of Fear is a game developed by a Bloober team and released in 2016. You can generally beat this in about 3.5 hours, although there's other endings that might increase it, the play times a little bit. And you can get this for PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch, which we played on the Switch.
Yep.
Yeah. And you play as an unnamed artist who descends into madness and is confronted by his past as he attempts to paint his magnum opus.
Oh, yeah.
Essentially. So, I was exposed to this game through YouTube. A lot of the major YouTube, YouTubers, I should say. I was thinking, what's the right word for that? a lot of the YouTubers played it when it first came out. Like Markiplier, Jacksepticeye. I don't know if PewDiePie has played it or not, but it wouldn't surprise me if he did.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I kind of just disregarded it because 2016 was kind of a weird time for me. That was a time where I was kind of being like a gaming snob,
How dare you?
where it was just like, this looks kind of dumb, or something like that. Like that's one of the reasons why I slept on the Hitman games for so long, because it was one of those things where it's like, so he's a hitman, but he can hide a suitcase in his pants. What? That's so dumb. But then I got wise and just said, it's a fucking video game. Why does it matter? So, and that's the day I stopped becoming a snob. But anyway, this game though, like for those who don't know, this game has a lot of PT vibes to it. And it is a really good game for you to be able to scratch that itch that PT scratched for you.
Yeah, it's just not as punishing as maybe PT is.
And it's like PT because it's bleeding with atmosphere. That was the one thing that made PT so terrifying. It's like, yeah, you had your jump scares and you had these scary moments, but what really made PT like burn into my memory was that atmosphere.
Yeah. I mean, this one, it kind of immerses you into this world that is sort of changing and melting around you.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't really trust that when you open the next door, anything is going to make any sense, which is kind of how PT was. You get in looping hallways, you'd open the door and the room was different, or, things like that. And that's a lot of how this game is.
Yeah. And that's really the major mechanic of this game. Like, you don't really die in this game. Like, I say die, which I will get into, because you're kind of required to quote die in certain instances to get a different ending. But you don't really get set back to a checkpoint. You just kind of get up and you continue. It's perfect for those people who want a good horror experience but don't want to feel like they have to redo a section over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I was doing some research here, because like this is one of the games in a whole like variety of games that tried to emulate PT, and this is one of the few games that succeeds in giving you that feeling. Like there are a couple of like smaller games. Like I did some research. There's this game called Granny, which is kind of a low quality game.
I've seen that.
Which not to knock the team or the person who made that. They obviously put effort into that, but it doesn't seem like it has that atmosphere or that slow burn that Layers of Fear or PT had. It's more like jump scares, which Layers of Fear has very little in terms of jump scares.
Mm-hmm.
It has quite a few in the beginning, but as you progress, there's less, and it's more just like creepy shit.
I think where this one kind of succeeds, and I've played a few other what you would call maybe PT clones in the past, where this one succeeds and the others fail, is that in this game, the puzzles are not overly challenging, and you never feel a sense of like, I don't know, what's the good word for this? It's like, when I've played other games, like I played a little bit of like Visage, which I see you mention further on here, but Visage, when I played that, the puzzles were just too weird and complicated, and it seemed like a lot of the game mechanics for the supernatural activity were a little bit janky. Whereas in this one, it's almost like you're solving some pretty simple puzzles, but it's in a way almost like a horror movie.
Yeah. And these puzzles are simple, but they're really, really creative.
Yeah, they're very creative. The environments are really cool. Every room, like something different happens. You're not getting, surprised by the same kinds of supernatural activity. It's all different.
Yeah, and I can't quite remember now, but I think I did mention earlier that the major mechanic of this game is the ever changing environment. Like you could be walking down a hallway and there's a dead end. You turn around, that hallway that you walk down is completely different. Like a door will appear,
Mm-hmm.
or like it's a completely different hallway. And that is like the major I guess selling point of Layers of Fear is these ever-changing hallways, and sometimes you'll keep looping around for 5 or 6 times till a door appears, and just like the amount of work and the amount of like play testing this game had to have in order for this to work is astounding.
And we made some mistakes along the way, but you can't really fail.
No, you can't.
And you can't really break the game either, from what I've seen. Like you just go.
This game is surprisingly polished.
Yeah, and it's visually pretty good looking, even on the Switch.
I was really surprised how good this game looked on the Switch.
Oh yeah, and it I don't think it had any like hiccups in performance or anything. Or
if I had to say there was anything wrong with it, it had nothing to do with the game. Really, is that the game supports the acceleration controls for the Switch, and so there were times where you would try to open up a drawer, because how you open up a drawer in this game is you would hold down ZL and then you would go down on the analog stick like you're pulling open a drawer.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to move your control just a little bit, you would actually shut it because of the motion controls, and that's really the only issue I had, and you can turn that off.
Do you think it would have been better with because you play with a Pro controller, so you think it would be better with like Joy-Cons?
Maybe, because in the tutorial it says that you can use a Joy-Con and flick it to open the door.
Okay.
So it's really interesting.
When I first played the game, I played it on PC, so I didn't get to experience those kind of motion controls.
And it released on PC first, I believe, and then came out on the consoles later.
Yeah.
So I just want to say this one tangent. I don't mean to keep bringing up PT, but I want to get this thought while I'm thinking about it. When I was doing research for this game, just because like other than the changing environments, there's not that much in this game mechanically, other than the story is excellent. And I will say it does talk about alcoholism, suicide, domestic violence. So if you guys are at all like sensitive to that stuff, that I would probably avoid this game.
Yeah, definitely.
I was doing research on this, and I have to say, nothing against anyone that works here, but Game Rant really sucks.
Okay.
Because it almost feels like one of the articles came up as like, 10 games are like PT, which was probably, it was released pretty recent.
Okay.
But it started off pretty good. They mentioned Layers of Fear and Vistage. Was that how you said it?
Visage.
Like, okay, cool. But as I scrolled down, it started devolving into mentioning Resident Evil 7 and 8.
Okay.
And it was like, okay, I guess you kind of understand, but the reasons for it was weird. And I'm going to read this. So, quote, winding, claustrophobic hallways that make up the Baker family's derelict Louisiana mansion. Resident Evil 7 also debuted in the RE engine, a direct competitor to Kojima's Fox engine, which provides for the shadowy, naturalistic lighting and ambiance reminiscent of Silent Hills. So they're basically saying it's like PT just because of the lighting and the winding hallways, but that's not what made PT.
No, I think if they wanted to make an actual good comparison, they would say Silent Hill, the series itself, was played as a third-person horror game.
Right.
The Resident Evil series, up until 7, was also a third-person horror series. So if they wanted to say Resident Evil 7 was inspired to become a first-person horror because of PT, I could maybe see that.
Yeah. And also they continued with 8, quote again, the game's entire first act can be considered an abstract homage to Silent Hills, in which protagonist Ethan Winters attempts to escape a claustrophobic labyrinth while being chased by a tall, deadly, supernatural woman adorned in white. Indeed, if not for PT's iconic Lisa, there may have never been a Lady Dimitrescu.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true at all.
I think Resident Evil did the, supernatural creature following you before with games like Resident Evil 2 and 3.
Yeah, with Mr. X.
Mr. X and Nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she's more of a callback to those characters.
Exactly. So going back on topic as well when it comes to Layers of Fear, this game. Oh my god, I'm gonna be completely transparent with you guys. This game was very hard to talk about just because it's one of those games where you need to be able to experience this game because the story unravels as you progress through notes left behind. You kind of start piecing together how the artist delve into his madness. We on Super Clash podcast, our goal is to not spoil anything for anyone who wants to listen to the podcast, because we want you guys to experience the games the way we experienced them.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's very so something as narrative as Layers of Fear makes it very hard to talk about. Essentially what I want to say, if you guys like PT or if you like any kind of horror game, this might be for you, especially if you like more psychological horror.
Yeah, and I like the way the story is delivered because you go into this game knowing very little about the background. They don't do an exposition dump.
No.
They don't set up anything really. And slowly throughout the game, you get little snippets of the story.
Mm-hmm.
You never get the full picture. You never get the entire story told out to you. And in fact, even by the end of the game, there's still some unanswered questions you might have.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I think, part of the fun, because you're piecing together this story and then you're left to kind of, at the end, come to conclusions on your own.
Yeah.
You know?
And by the way, this game has 3 different endings too.
Yes, it
which
does.
I didn't know.
I wanted to keep that a secret from you.
Yeah.
So that you'd play it as naturally as you would.
Yeah. And so, and we ended up with the neutral ending. We'll just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a bad ending, and as close to a good ending as you get, because no matter what, your character ends in misery.
Yes,
through his own doing.
I think my first playthrough, because the ending on this one kind of took me a little bit by surprise, I want to say I got the good ending the first time.
Okay.
When I first played, because I'm not going to say the spoilers, but the end, you see a certain thing that tips you off whether, which ending you got. And I got the one, I think, that tips you off that you got the good ending.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That was you, right?
Yes.
Okay, you're not talking about the our experience.
Yes, our experience, I believe we got the neutral one,
okay.
Right?
Yeah, because my research said that's what we got. We got the neutral ending.
Yes. So I'm happy that I've got to see 2 different endings at least.
Yeah, and like I said, this game goes down so easy.
Oh yeah, this is how we played it. We carved out a night and we just sat down and we played the game, together on the couch. I let you have the controller because I'd played it first.
Right.
And I just kind of watched you play it and helped you kind of solve some of the puzzles.
Mm-hmm. Some of those puzzles were really hard.
Yeah. Admittedly, some of them aren't the most logically straightforward, but I think with enough time, you might spend maybe an extra 10-15 minutes trying to solve something.
Yeah.
But it's not so bad you're bashing your head against the wall.
It's not like Ever Forward bad.
No. And once you figure them out, you're like, okay.
Which something really interesting too, codes in this game change with multiple playthroughs. So you just you can't brute force your way through a puzzle because those numbers change with each playthrough.
Yeah.
Which is nice too. That's a small little detail that I enjoyed. And again, something akin to PT. I remember a point in PT where one of the buttons on the controller would appear X, triangle, and that would be different every time.
Mm-hmm.
So which I get is a pretty common thing. I'm not saying PT was the first game to do that, but still.
I think this game's much more accessible than a game like PT. If we're going to compare them, this is much more accessible.
This one points you in a path a lot better.
Yeah. And you could honestly give this game to anybody who has a basic, background in video games, and they could play this game. It is not a complicated game.
No, but it is it's a scary game. Like,
oh yeah.
This is a really good horror game.
And it plays with a lot. The horror really plays around with the fear through the eyes of the player. So you could be facing in one direction, and you turn around, and the room behind you is entirely different than it was. And then you look back the other way again, and that part of the room's changed too. So the fear really comes from what's behind me, what's around this corner. When I open this door, it's going to be something that I'm not expecting every time.
Yes. And this game also really plays on your primal fears.
Yeah.
Too. It's got like creepy dolls.
Mm-hmm.
It's got melting faces or melting paintings. It's got paintings where the eyes seem to follow you, so you always feel like you're being watched.
Mm-hmm.
And the scariest thing, zombie tits.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is implied to be your wife.
Yeah. It's a really fun game to just pop on and play. Like, for me, I think this is a game that every year I would maybe just do a playthrough of.
Oh, yeah.
It's such an easy playthrough. You can do it in a short amount of time, and it's just fun. The world is just so disgusting and creepy and interesting that it's fun to just experience it.
This is a game that's more fun to experience it with friends. Like,
yeah,
I'll enjoy a horror game on my own, but there is like horror games almost get elevated to a different level when you play it with friends, because you could all experience it together and like all get scared together.
Yeah.
Or if you really want to fuck with them, when someone's playing, just yell up loudly and scare them.
It's like, you know what, the best comparison I can think of? It's like going through a haunted house with friends.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. And I reacted how I would in a haunted house. Like there were times where you would tell me, "Hey, turn around, man. Turn around, man." Like,
you're
no.
walking backwards through a door.
Yeah. And if I had to turn a corner, I would turn it wide to where I would face the wall and go like. But there are times where you have no choice but to turn around.
Oh yeah, it doesn't let you get away with that all the time.
No. So
what did your so for transparency's sake, we played it, and then our wives were also in the room too. My wife was probably heads down playing Splatoon or Tetris 99. But what did your wife think of it?
I think she liked it. Like, she was pretty invested in the game. Like whatever notes I found, I would read. And she would have these genuine reactions like, "Oh, that's disgusting," or "That's like, oh my god."
I think so you two were sitting next to me, and I think out of the corner of my eye, I saw both of you jump a couple times. So, what do you think about at some point us playing through either the DLC or the second game? Because I haven't played either of those.
I would be so down for that, especially since because they have the DLC with this, which I think focuses on the wife.
Okay.
I believe the wife or the daughter. And then you have Layers of Fear 2. And then they have another game coming out, I think next month, or this month actually, called Layers of Fear. It was announced not too long ago, at least a trailer was. Maybe it was at Gamescom, I'm not sure.
I really hope that, obviously I know nothing about the DLC or the sequels or anything like that, but I really hope they don't. Wow, my voice just dropped. I really hope they.
Are you starting to hit puberty?
Yeah, I'm going through it again. I really hope that they don't change the gameplay in it, because I think this gameplay has just so much replayability that I would be super bummed out if I went through and I played the others and they don't play the same way. Like, maybe there is you can die, or the puzzles are much more complicated and frustrating, or the game is much longer. Like, if they change those things, I don't think I would like it quite as much.
Yeah, I want to park on the game as much longer. Horror games are kind of weird. Horror games kind of they wear out their welcome very quickly, which is why I think like the length of Layers of Fear, which we mentioned was about 3.5 hours. That's a good amount for a horror game.
Yes.
Like when you get into games more like Alien Isolation, that's 20-25 hours long. It just gets exhausting.
Yeah.
It gets to a point where you want to be done with it. Nothing to do with the game, like the game's getting bad or anything. It's just you reach a point where you're just done.
I also don't like over complexity in horror games, because I think if you're so focused on trying to solve a puzzle, it takes you a little bit out of the atmosphere of all the creepiness. Like it felt so natural going through this game, and then knowing that after you solve this puzzle or behind the next door or when you flick on a light switch, something's going to happen because you felt immersed in it.
But overall, I would probably give this game probably like a 9 out of 10, man. This was a really good, enjoyable game, and I think it was a really good game to start off the spooky season, and I would recommend this game to anyone who wants to play a game during the month of October, or does anyone who wants to play a horror game at all.
Yeah.
And this game is relatively cheap. I don't know how much it is on Steam, but it has to be like $20.
Yeah, I think it released at like $20. I don't think it was super expensive.
Let's see here.
But if I had to rate it, I'd probably give it like an 8.5. It's not a perfect game. There's definitely some stuff that could be tweaked a little bit. The visuals, while I said they looked good, they're not perfect by any means. It's definitely, you can tell this is from an indie studio for sure.
And to bring it, yeah, it is $20, super affordable. So
yeah, and I think the Switch version is, I want to say it's the Legacy version or something like that.
The Legacy version, which
comes with the DLC.
Yeah, it comes with all the DLC.
Yeah, which is what I had. I had the Legacy edition, I think. So
great deal, great game. I'm gonna say this again. I'm so excited for the spooky season. There's so many good horror games out there, I don't know what's coming next. I know what game is the week after next, but I don't know what game we're playing next, Connor, because that's your week to choose.
I wanted it to be a little bit of a secret.
Well, for them.
Yes, for them. I'll tell you after we're done here, but yes.
So is it? Sweet.
Yep.
What?
You're thinking about it now?
Is the secret a hint? When you say it's
no.
I was trying to read into it.
You're like, what the hell is he talking about?
Tell me all your secrets, Connor.
I don't have any. I'm sorry.
Oh. All right. Well, this is going to be kind of a shorter episode this month, is because of
it was a shorter game.
Yeah, it's a shorter game. I said this month.
Yeah.
It's at the time of this recording, it's Friday. I'm tired.
It's the end of a month, but it'll be the beginning of a month for you all.
Yes, and the gerbil in my brain has died.
Yeah, it's been rotting away for a while.
It's like the wheel is still spinning, but that poor gerbil is just spinning
with the wheel. It's just
with the
rolling
wheel.
with it.
Yep. Poor little thing has had a heart attack.
Aw.
It's like,
that's sad.
It's I'm sorry, this is off topic. It reminds me of it was an episode of Futurama with like the brain suckers.
Yeah.
And one fell off of Fry, and he was like, wait, what happened? And Dr. Farnsworth picks it up and goes, poor little guy starved to death. Just calling Fry stupid.
That's just sad.
That's how I feel.
I feel sad often.
All right, guys, that'll pretty much do it for us. Thank you guys so much for listening. Like and subscribe if you like the show, or if you don't like it, tell your friends. Maybe they'll like it. Also, I'm going to do a little bit of a plug here. We have our merch. We have merch where we have shirts, we have hoodies, we have hats, which are legitimately embroidered hats.
They're good quality.
They're not ironed on or anything. And we do our best to reasonably price them. The only thing that's a little bit more on the pricey side would be the tie-dyed hoodies, but that's just because they're hand-dipped.
And you've seen one in person. What do you think of them?
They look really warm. Perfect for the fall season.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to start wearing mine once the weather gets a little chillier here.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, we will see you guys next time.
Goodbye.